This is April 17th, and here's what's going on in my garden. This time of year, all the tulips are starting to die back, and when they get to looking like this, when they're done blooming, like say here's one here, you can cut off the stem like that, because otherwise it will try and make seeds. You don't cut off the spent flowers, and if it tries to make seeds, that's a waste of energy for the plant. It needs all the energy that it created to make more bulbs, which is what will help you. So that's why you cut off the spent flowers, so that whatever energy the plant makes with photosynthesis goes into making more bulbs, rather than making seeds, which don't grow anyway. And if they do grow, it takes several years for a seed to be able to bloom. So it's just easier to cut off the spent flower heads. Here's some here where the petals have all fallen off. So, and when they do make a seed, you can actually see them start to swell up in there where the seeds are being made. But just cut them off like that, and whatever energy the plant makes will be devoted to making more bulbs. Here, right here, you can actually see how it's starting to swell up in there. And that was a daffodil. Here is a plant I don't want here in the flower bed, and I just need to come out and dig it up. If I keep pulling it up, it just comes back. If I was to dig it up, it might stay away. It looks like I got quite a few of the roots that time. You can see how it propagates by crawling along the ground and then coming up all over the place. That is Bishop Swede. There's a lot of different names for it. This is some grass. When I'm out here walking around and look at the flowers, I just pull it up like that. After you've been gardening in the same area for a while like this, the weeding process gets a lot easier. Just go along every now and then and pull up any grass and see. Some people don't like, this is creeping Jenny. Some people don't like it in their flower bed. I don't. It is one of the weeds I allow, and you can see how easy it is to pull up. But here's a big chunk of grass. Get it out of there. Here's a lily coming up. Look at that. I like to keep things blooming at all times. And now that the tulips are done, it's time for the lilies to come on. This is a peony right here. This is a really pretty peony too. This is a really pretty peony too. It's got red centers. I think this here is bergamot. I hate to get rid of these too soon, although those are getting pretty ratty. I'll leave them for a while. These here are getting pretty ratty, so I might get rid of them. When I buy tulips, I buy assortments. That way the blooming time spreads out more. And if you go and get your tulips on bricks, they will have, oh, that's not the only place I get them, but they will have assortments. And they will say, you know, from what months they bloom. Here's a lily right there. It may not bloom this year, but because it's just new to offset of these bulbs here, they keep making offsets every year. But this one will keep growing. Maybe next year it'll bloom. Look at this. Right here. That might be a couple of years before that blooms. That's an offset of one of the lilies. I didn't hear a bird in the bush. It's done blooming for this year. It blooms earlier in the spring. These are all day lilies. And there's some more of the bird in the bush down there. See, look how these daffodils get when they're really done blooming. You just whack them off. Don't leave or don't cut off the foliage though, because they need the foliage to store energy in the bulb for next year through photosynthesis. This here is a crabapple tree. It's kind of dull red flowers, and it didn't make that many crab apples last year, but I think it's mostly ornamental. But the birds just love it because they land on it and they fly back and forth between it and the bird feeder because they feel protected here. These dead stems at the tops of these stems for daffodils are like that because when it was about this far above the ground this spring, it snowed and covered them for a few days before it melted, so that's why it killed off the stems like that. Here's some columbine blooming. And look at all of these Virginia bluebells. They are such a pretty flower. They're actually a wildflower, but I kind of like wildflowers. They're just starting to bloom. Now the way that it's growing right up there beside the pot, and there was none growing when I put the pot there. That tells me that it's seeding itself, and I think that's how Virginia bluebells spread around, by seeding themselves. This is lamium. Lamium blooming. It has very decorative foliage, and it's been growing in here for quite a few years. You can see it's all over the place in here. Here's this blooming. Here's some more of it, these little yellow flowers. It's a really nice ground cover. I like these nice ground covers, and you can just go and plant things in them. And these are hardy geraniums, grain-spilled geraniums, just getting ready to bloom. Here is this vinca minor, which I would not recommend. It's so hard to dig in to plant things. And this tree here, that the red cedar that the birds planted when that honeysuckle bush was big. I think I'm just going to cut it down because I don't want to try and dig it up and plant it out back. The parent trees are some red cedar trees growing out back where the birds will sit in. They have berries on them that the birds like to eat, which is why I planted them years ago. They're taller than the house back there now, but I think I'm just going to cut that one down. I've been thinking about digging it up, but I think I'm just going to cut it down. There's another lambkin that's blooming in there. It's got lots of little ground covers in here. Poppies are getting ready to bloom. And all these daffodils in here will die back. And then the bed will be mostly bare, and then I'm going to plant it with moss roses. Here is a Cranesville geranium. Cranesville geranium I planted here last year. Planted a couple of them all along here. There's another one right here. Okay, well, that is my garden on April 17th here in Zone 5. And if you like this video, can you please subscribe to my channel, Gardening in My Yard? I would really appreciate it. And it helps me make more videos and buy more plants to put here in my yard. So I will talk to you then. And thanks a lot, and goodbye.